Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program, and welcome to what might be the first of a few weaponry experiments with BD Armory. We'll have to see how this one goes. Yeah, when it comes to equipping my craft, up until now I've sort of been guilty of just slapping on in any old-fashioned, a sort of tried and tested, boring, vanilla, cookie-cutting assortment of weaponry. And if there's one thing I've been made painfully aware of over the last 2 years, it's that when it comes to the highest levels of competition, that just won't cut it. In the background, by the way, you can see a quick 2v2 I set up with my Red Hawks and one of Randoped's Eel Mark 5Cs. Yeah, anyway, I thought I'd run a series of experiments to see if I can determine how best to set up my craft, maybe how best to set up your craft, in a sort of a semi-quasi, not really very scientific way. So, yeah, today we're looking at guns. More specifically, what kind of gun should I, or indeed you, have on our fighters? So, let's go and get started. So this is the Red Hawk you saw a second ago, just standing on the runway here, and this is what we're going to use to test our guns. Yeah, the Red Hawk's been in a lot of videos recently. I really should start to diversify a little bit, but never mind. At the moment, it has two of these. I don't know. I suppose you could almost say they're shoulder-mounted Vulcan cannons. And what we're going to do with those is kind of do as close to a like-for-like replacement as we can. So we're going to get a pair of GAW-8s and a pair of M230 chain guns. Now, the M230 only comes as a turret, so we're just going to immobilize those and try and get them, as I said, as close to a like-for-like as possible. Try and get the firing line as close as we can to being the same. And while I won't really have an opportunity to completely tune them, I'll try and get basic things like the centre of mass, centre of lift balance, the same as it is with the basic Red Hawk. So hopefully it's as fair a test as possible. I know I'm going to have so many comments about this. But yeah, we're going to do a couple of head-to-head tests, and also I've got another test in mind. So yeah, let's get on with those. So for the first of our little tests, we are going to put my my regular Red Hawk, stripped of its missiles, up against a similarly armed, well, in missile terms at least, Red Hawk, but with two of the GAW-8s attached instead. And we're just going to, well, as I said, we're just going to force a gunfight by having no missiles. So I don't know what to do about the competition distance. We need to give them some distance. I reckon 5,000. Very much playing this one by ear. Let's see how this one goes. And the competition starts, and they all turn around for what is going to be an inevitable joust. So, yeah, we're going to run this test for each of the three possible two-plane combinations: Vulcan versus GAW-8, Vulcan versus M230, M230 versus GAW-8. That sort of thing. And of course, these planes, as per usual, are limited to a kilometre range on the guns. So this really is going to be just a gun test. Then we're going to do some more general fights, which I'm just going to do a summary of. Oh my word, that is looking very close there. Not on this craft, but I mean, this is a test not just to sort of the accuracy of the guns, but also the general manoeuvrability of the craft. Oh, what's that? Is that... I need to get a look at this. Something has lost a lot of bits, and I think it might be one of the standard armed Red Hawks. Yeah, one of the Vulcan armed Red Hawks is pretty much straight out of here, although still has just about enough control surfaces to hold it together for a bit. Whether that will continue, though, I don't know. Rich Kermit having some difficulty. Gunfight's still going on up in the sky. Something is getting trashed there. What was that? None of the planes I'm switching to were actually involved in the combat. It's all... I think that's one of the GAW-8 craft that got scorched. Daffy Kerman, surely trying to, extending at the moment, trying to come about and bring her guns to bear on a target. There we go. A hail of gunfire being laid down, but Not for much, as it turns out. Comes about. Richmal Kerman, not quite as in control as he was a second ago. Bye-bye, Richmal. No, I don't want that. Jebediah Kerman. No, Shawnee Kerman. That's not who I wanted to switch to. Jebediah Kerman. Coming about, trying to bring his guns to bear on one of the Gowate equipped craft. It is going to be very difficult for the Vulcan equipped craft now with the numeric disadvantage. Although they should be a little lighter. This kind of one-on-one situation, they should be able to carve out some sort of advantage. But that other fight that was going on over there, the 2 versus 1, seems to have made its way back over towards the KSC. Jebediah gets a scorching. Missing a little bit of control surface. Not much else. I don't think anything. I think, yeah, that's Daffy Kerman's craft. The Gowate's not proving to be too accurate at the moment, I don't think. That might kind of be their, well, might be their undoing, or that's going to be difficult for the Vulcan craft to pull it back from this. I think that's the Vulcan armed craft going in on the Gowate armed craft. I can't see. There's not enough contrast. Yes, that was the Vulcan craft. Oh my word, but that is the strength of the Vulcans. You just need the one hit. And now Jebediah Kerman in some serious trouble. Gonna give it a go though. Although a go really isn't going to be good enough. I followed that test up with a series of 10 2v2s between the two craft, this time with missiles, just to give it a more comprehensive combat test. I'm not going to take you through them all individually, obviously, this is just kind of a summary. Long story short, the Vulcan-equipped craft did do significantly better, although it wasn't all one-way traffic. It was mostly missile kills, as you'd expect, and I think perhaps just the extra weight of the Gowate cannon meant that it wasn't quite so easy for those Red Hawks to dodge the missiles, but when they were up close and personal as well, there was a bit of an effect. If it got into a turning battle, the Vulcan would inevitably come out on top, sort of backing up a prediction I made earlier. But as I said, the Gowates did manage to get some up-close kills, so a promising first fight, but maybe bad news on balance for the Gowate. So it's now the turn of our second combo to take to the skies and show us what they respectively have. The Vulcan-equipped cannons will be going up again, but this time they will be joined by the M230-equipped Red Hawks. Let's get this one going, and we're going to be going for the 5 kilometers again. Let's get started. And so this second little competition starts. My frame rate has taken a pummeling from something. I think I might need to do a restart before I do much else. But yeah, both sets of craft once again going in for that joust. Now, there is going to be a slight delay for the M230s because they are going to take just a split second to power up. There we go. Oh, nearly a collision there. But Shawnee Kerman taking evasive action. I don't think... I'm having difficulty seeing what is and isn't the M230 fire here. Valentina Kerman already having to evade one of the Vulcan-equipped craft on her tail. Rowena Kerman, though, surely you're having better luck. No evasive action. I think that's... No, that's just one of the standard equipped craft. It looks like the Vulcan-equipped craft have got the M230 equipped craft on the ropes, which kind of surprising. I'd have thought they'd been able to get at least something away. Rowena Kerman comes about. Also, I've forgotten how long gun-only fights can be. Oh! Rowena Kerman, though, I think she did manage to get a quick hit on one of the Vulcan-equipped Red Hawks. Comes about. Pulling a tight loop there. Shawnee Kerman. Evading. Oh. Vulcan gunfire. Oh, scorches Shawnee Kerman's craft. Doesn't seem to have done anything too fatal. Has stripped away an air intake. More of it rains in. Yeah, it looks to be the Vulcan equipped craft pretty solidly on top here. That looks like M230 fire though. M230 equipped craft are not down and out just yet. Yeah, without sidewinders, this does take a while, doesn't it? Bit of instability there. I don't think. Doesn't seem to get any damage. Oh, now there seems to be quite a lot of damage. Valentina Kerman's craft missing quite a lot of stuff now. Vulcan equipped craft comes in. Yeah, just finishes Valentina's craft off. Shawnee Kerman now. It'll need to be a quick revenge kill. Shawnee's craft somewhat unbalanced, having missing that air intake. Yeah, there goes Valentina's craft into the ground. Rowena in the one completely healthy, completely healthy M230 equipped Red Hawk. What's going on there? Oh! Okay, a couple of the Vulcan equipped Red Hawks crashed into each other. That's gotta kind of throw the numbers a little bit. I think we've generally seen though that the oh, Shawnee Kerman, your craft is just slowly being disassembled. Rowena Kerman now. Yeah, those M230s just lack that certain something, don't they? Rowena Kerman is trying her hardest to come about and put guns into her opponent. There goes the gunfire. Doesn't look like it. Oh! Gets a slight bit of damage there. There goes one of the Red Hawks there. Bit of system lag here. There we go. Richmore Kerman avoiding twin 30mm gunfire there. I'm not sure how heavy the turrets are. I can't imagine they're too heavy. I don't think they're as bad as the GAU 8s, but the Vulcan equipped craft almost seems to have a little bit of an advantage. Oh, it's had its Vulcans blown off. Huh. Okay, well, I think this one is just going to have to go down as a loss for the until recently Vulcan-equipped Red Hawk. Yeah, let's see how the pairing get on in a slightly more thorough combat test, though. So we did 10 more conventional 2v2s with this pairing of guns, and aside from some very nice Sidewinder evasion at one point, this wasn't particularly informative. There were no gun kills, it was all missiles, and the Vulcan and the M230 weighing exactly the same as they do. Yeah, they were pretty evenly matched. The M230 did get a bit of an edge in the final results. Yeah, not very instructive, not what we were looking for really, but we have another test for these guns towards the end of the video, so hopefully that will help to differentiate them a bit more. But in the meantime, let's move on to our final pairing. So for the last of our head-to-head comparisons, we have the M230 versus the GAU 8. Let's get this last one going. The competition starts, and once again into the inevitable joust. I kind of would like to see one of these jousts come off. I'd like to see, well, either the Galaxy or the M230, and I don't think it's just because they're sort of a novelty on my own craft. I think also just because those 30mm rounds, when they hit, oh boy. Valentina Kerman opens fire, scorches one of the M230 equipped Redhawks. Comes hard around, trying to rear-acquire a target. Opens up with the Gowite yet again. Oh, I think that's one of the M230 equipped Redhawks in a lot of trouble. But that might open up a little bit of an opportunity for the M230s. There we go, opening up. Trying to get something onto one of the Gowite equipped craft. Now, these do have not quite the same rate of fire, but they do have a little bit more stamina in them. They don't overheat quite as quickly as a result, although it does look very much like the M230 equipped craft are on the back foot at the moment. There comes some more Gowite fire, just piling into one of the M230 equipped Redhawks. No hits just yet, though. Daffy Kerman has to pull up to avoid the terrain. Now having to avoid gunfire, just going back and forth. Both weapons seem to be suffering from a little bit of an accuracy issue. I'm not sure if that's just the tuning of the craft. It doesn't seem to be too bad at the moment. Daffy Kerman opening up. Not finding the mark just yet, though. Ooh, closing the gap. If she can keep that... No, I think it's going to fly past. No, I was about to say, if she can close the distance a bit more, those M230s might come into their own. Valentina Kerman now. Oh, that's a perfect opportunity. Just scorches that other Redhawk, though. Nothing more serious for the time being. Now is another opportunity. Oh, does some more damage. It's looking like it's going to be a bit of a war of attrition, and it looks like the Gowite equipped craft are coming out on top of that. Shawnee Kerman opens up. Oh my... One of the M230 equipped Redhawks, Jebediah Kerman, down and out already. Daffy Kerman and Richmal Kerman, they've got all of the work on. Richmal missing an air intake and some control surfaces, and now missing most of his aircraft. Daffy Kerman, the last remaining M230 equipped craft that's still flying and with all of its bits. I think it's with all of its bits. Well, no, it's not with all of its bits anymore. Gets hit in the face with some of her own debris. That's gotta hurt. But yeah, a fairly convincing win by the Gowite equipped craft there. Let's do a bit more of an in-depth head-to-head with these. So another 10 2v2s, and once again, no gun kills, all missiles, although we did see a little bit more gun action this time. And now this one was completely evenly matched in the results. The Gowite and the M230, each won exactly 5 fights each, so yeah, but without the gun kills, we don't really have the information we wanted anyway. It is worth pointing out, though, that over the totality of the 30 of these more conventional fights we conducted, in terms of fights won, the Gowite was the clear loser overall. But we do still have one final test for these guns, so let's get cracking with that. For this last test then, I basically set up a bit of a duck shoot. Jebediah went up in a completely unarmed craft, and I turned ramming off, one of the features of this version of BD Armory. And Valentina just went up with the various guns and tried to see how efficiently she could take out her unarmed opponent, how effectively these craft can press the advantage. I did 3 of these each, and each of the guns kind of played to type, really. The Vulcan got the job done in a reasonable time frame, nothing to write home about, though. The Gowite, the craft was a little bit more sluggish with the Gowite attached, so couldn't quite track its target as effectively, but then again, it only really needed the one hit, and then the fight was kind of over. but it's when we get onto the M230 that things get a bit more interesting. And by a bit more interesting, I mean, in fact, deadly dull. The M230 really does suffer from that rate of fire. It had trouble connecting with its rounds, and when a round did connect, although it would do some damage, unlike with the Vulcan and the GAU-8, there wasn't a hail of other rounds following it in to finish the job off. But anyway, with that done, we have finished our tests, so, yeah, let's go see what conclusions we can draw from all of that. So, what have we learned? Gun for gun, how do these weapons compare? Well, we've got the Vulcan, solid, dependable, middle of the road. We've got the GAU-8, performs just as well as the Vulcan in sort of a gun-only situation, but in a more general combat environment, its extra weight does tend to let it down a bit. And then we've got the M230. I think in early tests, the M230 was kind of flattering to deceive in that first gun-only fight. It kind of relied on two of the Vulcan-equipped craft crashing into each other, and then for the more general combat test, it was just missile kills there. And then once we got onto the duck shoot, yeah, its shortcomings really showed through. It took about twice as long as the Vulcan and the GAU-8 on average to down its opponents. It just had to do it by slowly stripping parts off, sort of a battle of attrition. It's not really a gun that allows you to press an advantage, and that's kind of what you need in these dogfights. So, in summary, I think I'll be sticking with the Vulcan cannons on my own craft for the moment. Yeah, that was a long video, just basically to turn around and say, yeah, things are fine as they are. But you know, it's always worth testing these things if you haven't already. If you've got any thoughts or suggestions on this vaguely scientific test, then please leave those in the comments. If you've enjoyed today's video, please consider liking, subscribing, following me on Twitter, getting involved with the Discord, or if you fancy it, popping over to the Patreon and maybe helping to support the channel that way. I leave it up to you. I will be back soon with some more BD Armory and, of course, the mailbag livestream later tonight, if you're watching this as it comes out. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.